Hi folks. Hey, I did got a new video here for you. Today I bought a battery float charger. It's got a 750 milliamp output, so it won't overcharge your battery. It's got two methods of hooking it up. One's a permanent installation, and the second is these little alligator clamps here. So if you don't want to do the permanent installation, you don't have to. But it's nice to have a charger on in the wintertime, so that way it keeps your battery nice and up to snuff. So when spring does get here again and we want to go riding, we're going to be ready. So I hope you liked the video. If you do, hit the subscribe button, the like button, the bell for notification for new videos. I want to keep in mind that when I take a battery loose, I take the negative loose and then the positive. That way I don't accidentally touch the frame with a wrench or something and cause a short between the positive and bike ground. So that's the way I do it. That would be a suggestion for me. Sometimes being in a little cramped area like that, it's kind of hard to maneuver a wrench around. So we don't want to have any shorts. These also come with an inline fuse, which is good. It's made by Syntec. I got it at Harbor Freight for about $10. So there again, let's go install this thing. Hey folks, we're putting a battery maintainer on the old bike today. Try to keep this battery nice and charged up over the winter months so that we can be riding when the spring comes. Now I picked this up at Harbor Freight. It's got an input value of 0.25 amps and an output of 12 volt DC at 750 milliamps. So it'll be enough to just trickle it charge. It's a float charger, so once the battery gets topped off, it won't keep continuing to charge. Has little indicators on the side here. Let me see if I can get that up there for you. Tells you what the flashes are in case you run into that. It's got a fairly long cord on it. Right down here is the end that would plug into the adapter that happens to be where what we're doing right now is mounting to the battery, a positive and a negative, and then you situate the cord out to the side somewhere where it's accessible but yet kind of hidden. You don't want it flopping around in the wind later on. This is a permanent installation, so then I can leave my seat and everything on there, and if we just happen to get some Indian summer warm weather, then I will jump on the bike and take a ride. So alright, I'm gonna pause this for a few and we'll get to the next step here. Okay, I would like to add in here that this has a fuse block in there. It's got a 75 amp fuse, and then I also had another wire here hooked up, as you can see that went to my cigarette lighter plug-ins for additional charging of cell phones and so forth. And it was a full circle, but I took a pair of side cutters, as you can see here, wherever they are. Yep, right there, side cutters. And I just took and clipped those spots out right there so that I could slip that on, because if you get too many things on there, the bolt will not pick up the screw or the nut that's in the bottom and be able to catch the nut. Those things are notorious for trying to get the nut up there so that the bolt can attach itself, and then you can tighten it on down. There's just no room in there whatsoever. So at any rate, okay, we'll get that done and go on to the next one. Okay, for the next step here, well, as you can see, we got the rubber boot back on there. That's very important on the positive side. You don't want that thing touching or anything that's grounded. So make sure you put a boot or some kind of rubber protecting over it. It keeps it from touching any of the negative. So now we're going to clean up that negative and stick the last wire on there and reassemble everything. Okay, we now got the negative in place, screwed down, and ready to go back with the cover on the battery. It'll help protect that as well. Okay, the battery cover is back on. When you're putting all this back together, make sure that you got your wires situated where they will not get pinched, because you don't want it rubbing up against something that's not supposed to, such as metal. So, back the toolkit back in there, and we're ready to check it out. Okay, now this plug, you can't get it wrong. It plugs in. When it's not plugged in, there is a protector cover so that you don't get dirt, grime up there or any foreign objects. So next, it's time to plug in. Where is that thing? There it is. I'll give you a little better picture of what it is there. Yep, right there. So let's plug this in and see what happens. Okay, we're all plugged in. We got a green light, which indicates, what's that? Let me get it around here the right way. I think the green light is going to say that it is monitoring charged battery. So the battery is already got a full charge. When I first plugged it in, it was a solid red, indicating that it was charging. What we don't want is red flashing lights. The green flashing would indicate the battery is almost charged. So there you have it, folks. Syntec from Harbor Freight. Keep my battery up on my bike. Thanks for watching.